Hey everyone, I'm Chelsea Tornetto with At Home Author, and today we're going to talk about comp titles, what they are, where to find them, and why do you need them anyway. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can share lots of great information about writing and publishing for kids. If you're querying traditional publishers, you may have seen agents and editors ask for comp titles in their submission guidelines. Comp title is just short for comparable titles, so these are books that have something in common with the manuscript that you're submitting. You include them in your query or cover letter to help the agent or editor envision where your book would sit on the shelves and what kind of readers are going to want to buy it. Generally speaking, comp titles should be published within the past 5 years or so. They should be in the same genre as your manuscript, and they should have sold reasonably well, but not so famous that they're overcomped like Harry Potter. Now, if you're self-publishing, you might think, well, I don't need to worry about comp titles because I'm not querying agents and editors. But researching comps can be critical to a self-published book's success too. Researching and reading a lot of comps can help you make sure that your book has a unique perspective and brings something new to the market. And if you plan to run Amazon ads, having some similar titles in mind that you can target your ads towards can be really helpful. Now, as a traditionally published picture book author, I totally understand the importance of comps, but boy do I hate looking for them. I read a lot of picture books and I still draw a blank whenever I go looking for comp titles for a new manuscript. So in an effort to help us both out, here are some tips for researching and finding great comps. First, remember that a good comp title doesn't have to be exactly like your book. In fact, that would be a bad thing. So instead of looking for a funny book about a grumpy grandpa who befriends a stray dog, instead look for books that have just one major similarity to your manuscript. So maybe find a book that has an unusual friendship as its theme, or a book that has a similar voice or a similar sense of humor. Even if the other elements of the book don't match, that comp title can still tell an agent or editor something important about your manuscript. Another really important tip for finding good comps is to read widely in the genre that you write. Now, like I said, sometimes that doesn't help. I read widely in the picture book genre and I still struggle to think of comps. But the more that you read, the more likely you are going to be able to think of a book that has something in common with yours. You're also just going to be more familiar with the marketplace and recognize things that are unique when they pop up. A third really great tip for finding comp titles is to utilize Goodreads and Amazon and their similar titles category. So if you can start your search on Goodreads, for example, and you come across something that's close, you can scroll down and look at similar titles, and following that rabbit hole might eventually lead you to the perfect comp. Now, once you've found a potential comp, it's really important that you read it, of course, but buying all of these books can get really expensive. So make sure you utilize YouTube read alouds for picture book comps. You can type in just about any book title with read aloud after it, and there's a good chance that you'll find it read aloud on a YouTube channel. Of course, if you can afford to buy those books and support those authors, that's great. But if not, YouTube can be a good alternative. And don't forget to go leave a positive review. And finally, ask for help if you need it. Children's librarians, elementary teachers, critique group members, and even groups on Facebook that focus on kidlit can be great resources for helping to come up with a comp title. Share your pitch with them and see if they have any ideas. And in the end, if you're really struggling to come up with a comp title, don't stress yourself out too much. Comp titles are just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to selling a manuscript. They can certainly help your chances, but they're not going to make or break your query. I hope this video was helpful. If you'd like more support in the querying process, check out our Profitable Picture Books program, where you can learn all about the querying process with a great group of writers.